a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
Welcome back to Newsmax Now. That is Department of Defense video apparently showing a UFO over an aircraft carrier way back in 2004. It was leaked to a Las Vegas TV station. Someone who covers these types of stories on a nightly basis and reaches millions of people is George Noory. He's host of the radio program Coast to Coast AM, and he's here with us on our program this evening. George, it's great to talk to you.
Hey, John, great to be with you, too, on Newsmax TV. And got to compliment you and your team for paving the way with another news channel that gets to the truth. And I'm really excited about being on here with you.
Well, we are trying, and we are excited to have you with us. And, of course, folks who know your story know you took over for Art Bell, a legend in his own right, in the business. He created the show Coast to Coast AM and left enormous shoes for you to fill, but you did that. He unfortunately recently died, but you're carrying on his legacy, and not only his legacy, but the legacy of late-night talk radio. For those who do not stay up late enough to catch your program, talk to us about why late-night radio is different and why it's so special.
You know, there have been some great hosts over the years, but it was really paved by Larry King, who started carving his niche in late night radio, and then Art Bell, and then I took over for Art back in 2003. It's amazing how fast time goes by. But our numbers show, John, that 33% of the public is up at night, that they're listening to late night radio, doing things. And these are folks who are truck drivers, law enforcement, hospital workers, security, insomniacs, people who are just home. It's a huge audience, and we have carved a niche. We're on 620 radio stations now in North America, dealing with strange subjects that I don't touch generally what the mainstream does during the day, though we will touch on it in the program. But I deal with things that are just a little off kilter that people really enjoy.
I was talking to someone who worked an overnight shift for a few years. I can certainly relate to the people who call in, a curiosity around some of these topics. You talk to millions of people every single week, but it feels like, and this is a credit to your ability, an intimate conversation, even sometimes a one-on-one conversation with the person you're actually speaking to at the same time. What's your secret to engaging your audience, and how do you think these topics resonate so well with the people you're talking to?
John, I respect all my callers, and I got to tell you, and as you know, some of them are way out there when they call in.
Way out there.
Way out there. But I'm not going to put them down. I'm not going to chastise them. I'm not going to hang up on them. The only thing they get hung up on is profanity. If they do that, they're gone. But other than that, you know, these are people who care, and I try to put myself in their position. You call a radio show, you're talking to a host, and the guy hangs up on you. That's devastating to people. I don't do that. But what I will do is facilitate them, talk to them, and try to pull out their story so that those who are listening to the show at night really can have some fun with it or get some information. And that's what we've been doing over these years, and it seems to be working for us. We've got millions of listeners every night. And again, we had a call from a police officer some time ago who said, I had a run, George, that there was a heart attack victim, and I was the first responder. I get to the door with my partner. A little old man opens the door for us. We come rushing in. There's a person on his stomach. I turn him over. It's the little old man who opened the door to let us in. It was amazing. So we get kind of stories like that, John, all the time.
Yeah, well, you get some, you know, you mentioned some of your callers who are way out there. We played that clip of the UFO that was released to that Las Vegas TV station from the Department of Defense. These topics, you know, thanks to folks like you, seem to be more in the mainstream nowadays. Do you think, you know, some of this stuff is being taken more seriously?
People aren't laughing at these topics anymore. The government, for example, has just revealed that they had a $20 million program going to investigate UFOs started in 2007. It could still be going on. Nobody really knows. But $20 million just to try to find out if we're being visited or not, something's going on there. That clip you just played, 2004, a Navy commander was on a training mission off the coast of California over the ocean, and he saw what he described as a 40-foot wingless craft that looked like a Tic Tac. It had that kind of oval shape, and he said, I've never seen anything like it before. I wish I were in there flying it. This thing went at unbelievable speeds, and it just took off. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't of this world. That's coming from a Navy pilot who has witnessed all kinds of aircraft. Something's going on.
Right. I always wonder if that $20 million to study the program is a program to build some of these aircrafts, perhaps. I don't know. But out of curiosity, what's one story you've heard recently from one of your callers that even you have a hard time believing?
These are eye rollers. Got a call from someone who claimed that she was dating an alien reptilian. I won't go into specific details, obviously, but she claims that this alien looked like an alligator and that she was regularly dating this thing. They come in all the time, John.
Now, do you ask for a visual verification of these types of stories? I mean, I know you're on the radio, but nowadays with the internet, it's easy. Send me an email. That's these pictures. You know, in terms of that, though, you know, you hear a lot of unbelievable stories. Tell me one that's really struck you as poignant, or one you remember very well that made you think about, you know, something grander than just your radio show.
Okay, that's a great question too. I had a call several years ago from an individual who told me he was very depressed. He was suicidal, and he was relating his story to me of what he did. And he said, George, I decided what I was going to do was kill myself at a very serene location. So I got in my car, I had a gun, and I kept driving to a spot that I wanted to do this. I was depressed, hated my job, hated my relationship. I found a little spot, a little lake with a little tiny area where ducks were hitting the water and flying out again. That's where I was going to do this. So I went there, sat on a little bench, and as I was ready to do this, some little old farmer came by and sat down next to me. I couldn't get rid of the guy. He talked to me for an hour about life and everything else. And he said, I got to be honest with you. When we were done talking and he left, I felt great about myself. I went back to my hometown. I got a new job. I got a new relationship. My life is great. I love it. So a year later, I decided to go back and thank him for what he did. He saved my life. I didn't know his
That's
last
amazing,
name.
George.
I didn't know where he was. And so he goes back. He finds a barber shop. The barber tells him, go to the house at the top of the hill, talk to his daughter. He did. The lady opens the door, and he said, ma'am, I want to thank your father for something. She stopped him and said, stop it right now. You're the sixth person to come to my house to thank Dad. He died 12 years ago.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just shows you the range of callers you get. It's an amazing show, George. Great to talk to you. And good luck on your nomination for the Radio Hall of Fame. We wish you the best. We got to run.
Hey, thank you, John.
More to come here on Newsmax Now. Stick around. We're going to take an in-depth look on charitable giving, way up this year. We'll talk about that after this.